UFC 325 is this Saturday, and I figure since the channel's doing so good, let's pump out another video by doing a predictions and betting guide video for you guys. So while I may not have the most knowledge of fighting skills, fighting abilities, techniques, and the little nuances within the actual octagon, I do know the sport very well. Before I started this YouTube channel, I've been betting on UFC and predicting it for years, and I have a great track record, so I figured I'd share my knowledge with you guys. And I think a part of this knowledge is because I do not know the fighting skills and techniques so well. That gives me a little bit of a different perspective that a lot of these guys don't have, because if you watch on YouTube, some of these guys, they get too into the weeds about these techniques and stuff when it really doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it's a fist fight. Things never go the way you think it is. Even if your predictions do come true of the outcome of the fight, they still might not go the way you think it does. And so that's why I think that I actually am able to speak on the sport despite my lack of knowledge on techniques and stuff. This is actually not the best card. A lot of people on it I'm not familiar with, especially on the prelims, but that's okay. A lot of people aren't. So I'm actually gonna just skim over them. So these prelims are entirely filled with Road to UFC winners. I am actually not familiar with Road to UFC at all. It caters to a Chinese audience, so it airs at like 3 a.m. my time. And it's not too popular over in the West, so it doesn't have much media coverage. So I'm not familiar with these fighters, and neither are a lot of people, and that's why I'm skipping over them. So getting into the actual predictions, I'm going to be starting off with Jacob Malkoun versus Torrez Finney. Torrez Finney, currently 27 years old and on an 11 undefeated streak. And Jacob Malkoun, 30 years old with an 8-3 record. Pretty chop. I have a bet placed on Torrez Finney, but I'm not going to tell you guys to bet on him. Torrez Finney is coming off one of the worst fights, like literally no hyperbole, no exaggeration, one of the worst fights in UFC history. I think the strike number that he landed or threw was in the single digits in his last fight, and all he did was lay on top of the guy. I believe Torrez Finney actually had to go on the Contender Series twice in order to get his contract, because although he did win his bout, it was so boring he didn't get the contract. For his last fight in the UFC that was so boring with very little strikes thrown by him, it was because he had an injury, and so he took some time off, and I think that time off is going to be great for him. So I think Torrez Finney's going to win. He's not necessarily a prospect, but he's still in the infancy of his fighting career. I take him by KO or decision. I'm not giving you that advice, I'm just saying it's something to think about, so I guess I am advising you. I'm curious to see what type of performance we're going to get from Torrez Finney. Maybe he feels like he has to prove himself after that shitty performance. So actually, I think he is going to come out swinging. He totally does have knockout power. Malkoun has losses by KO. I think Torrez Finney is going to knock him out. Moving on to our next fight, Rowston versus Cody Brundage. Rowston is the lock of the card. I'm not going to discuss this fight too much here because I want to discuss him in my betting portion of the video. Cody Brundage is an insane, he's an anomaly. He has loss, decision, no contest, and a win, all within his last 5 fights. All he's missing is a disqualification to get him all Infinity Stones. Rowston, 13-3. This guy is like the city kickboxing guy. On Tapology, it says he's only minus 330 favorite. Yeah, he's going in the lay. Next fight. Junior Tafa versus Billy Elekana. Billy Elekana also going on the betting portion of this video. Junior Tafa sucks. Junior Tafa is similar to Josh Emmett, where it's like, maybe at one point he had this knockout power. It's gone now, and everyone recognizes that. Yeah, Billy Elekana, minus 220, great odds. Quillan Salkilld versus James Mullarkey. Not going in the betting guide. There's not enough value on him, but yeah, he's guaranteed win, guaranteed knockout. This guy's pretty good. Definitely gonna be top 10 in the lightweight very soon. No question about it. Next fight, Tuivasa versus Tallison Teixeira. I'm taking Tallison Teixeira to freaking turn this guy to a pug by smashing his nose in, just like he did to his opponent before last. Tuivasa is literally all red. I'm gonna put a screenshot. His last 5, all red. 8-8 in the UFC, bro. You're so trash. Next fight, Fiziev versus Santos. This one is like super hard. The odds are, it's basically a pick'em. Huffy coming in with a renewed energy for this fight after training with Volkanovski and leaving the Fighting Nerds. Is it going to be enough to take Fiziev, who's somebody with not much momentum, no real motion? And I bring that up because it's a huge deciding factor for me in this fight. I'm not really familiar enough with these fighters to give like a really good take on this. So I'm going to do a little bit of a coin toss, and I'm just going to say Fiziev. I don't know, but I think Santos has a great chance. Dan Hooker versus BSD. Not good value on BSD, but he's a part of my betting guide. I'm taking him as a lock. Dan Hooker is no longer capable of going monkey mode. That time has come. He is no longer a young buck. I will say BSD is just coming out of his young buck era. However, he's still like super high energy and stuff, not stiff in the hips or, you know, in the joints or anything like that. Talk about a guy with motion. BSD is a guy with motion right now. Now, I don't actually rate BSD, and I feel like this current little streak he's on, this 3-fight win streak he's on, is a little lucky. However, you know what luck is, right? Preparation meets something. And that's what BSD has. Dan Hooker is checked out, no longer has that dog in him that we once knew him for. Hooker is not sliming anyone out, and he's not capable of it. BSD, I think, has a decent chin. I picked against him in the Dustin Poirier fight. I picked against him in the Beneil fight too, and I just say this so you guys know that I'm actually like pretty unbiased here. Yeah, Dan Hooker took a lot of damage in that Armin fight, although he did display some decent ground defense with the jiu-jitsu there. I still think that BSD is gonna slime him. He's gonna get a finish. Lock. And then the main event, Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. I'm picking Diego Lopes in the rematch. Initially, long before I had my YouTube channel, I picked Volk to beat Lopes, and I was super confident in it. I had hundreds of dollars riding on it, and it cashed. He got clipped once or maybe even twice in their initial fight, and oh my gosh, I was on the edge of my seat. Volk did take off in the later rounds and was somewhat styling on Lopes, because Lopes isn't that good. If he beats Volk, he's not going to stay champ for very long. A lot of niggas on his tail who I think can beat him. However, I think Volk is a very smart fighter. I think that Volk is going to come with a different game plan, and I think that we're going to see the ground game be a lot more bigger of a factor, right? Volk proved himself with being able to stand with Lopes. It's sort of a lightning doesn't strike twice type of situation where, you know, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on you, right? Volk's going to use the ground game a lot more. But if he doesn't, Lopes is going to slime him, and that's what I'm counting on for this pick. And those are my picks and predictions for all the fights that I have enough knowledge to speak on. Now, quickly going over my betting guide. We're taking BSD, moneyline, Billy Elekana, KO or sub, and Cam Rowston, moneyline. I spoke enough about the BSD fight that I don't got to explain myself further, reiterate any points. Billy Elekana. I'm actually not familiar with this guy, but Junior Tafa, check out, he's trash. No dog in him. Fat, ugly as well. Hawk and Larper. Moving down to light heavyweight, that makes no sense. That's not gonna do anything. Thank you for the juicy odds, Elekana. And Junior Tafa, this one goes out to you. And then Cam Rowston, Cody Brundage. Cody Brundage sucks. He is, like I said, he's an anomaly. He's 11-7. That's so trash. That should say enough, actually. But I hope UFC doesn't cut him. I'm not gonna explain this one any further, actually. I went into enough detail originally. If there's any locks or betting things or just anything you want to say about the fighters from the road to UFC fighters, let me know in the comments, because like I said, I don't know them enough. That's why I just skipped over them. And yeah, trust me on this lay. I know I didn't post it, but H-Band's lock of the card, last card was, well, the parlay itself, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, because I could lie since I didn't post it, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to say my last locks of the card was Gauthier by KO, and then Sean O'Malley TKO or decision. And Gauthier didn't get the KO. I do like that I was smart enough not to take him by Gauthier and won. I knew better because I know that the guy he was fighting is tough. Clearly, the O'Malley one, great pick. It was pretty juicy odds. I'll say we're 0-1 so far in the year, but depending how this was received and my betting guide goes, I'm going to. And anyways, guys, please make sure to subscribe and like to support a small channel. The channel is doing very well. As of recording, my tier list video is almost at 300 views. I could just take a screen grab, but I'm just going to show you guys on the camera. Look at the uptick in that. It just randomly started taking off. My funniest UFC debut video just hit 500 views. Not even a full 12 hours after being uploaded. My Andrew Tate video had 160 views. That is like really good for my channel. And the shorts are doing good. So I'm super happy with the way this is going. I'm probably going to drop another one of these videos for the next numbered card. And yeah, please make sure to like, subscribe, help a small creator, especially because, you know, we got some momentum going now. And I'll see you guys in the next video.